8 relentless weeks of qualifying building up to this moment. Europe's tertiary club competition is back. It's now the fourth season of a still new tournament that has been brilliant for providing historic opportunities to lesser known sides and for providing a moment of rare European glory to its small list of winners so far. 2024-25 is a hugely significant year, the first with a new main stage format that provides us with more teams and more total matches. The group stage as you knew it is gone, replaced by a giant 36-team league phase. All of the qualifiers have been placed into 6 pots of 6 teams based on the individual UEFA club coefficient. Every team has been allocated a total of 6 fixtures, a match against a different opponent from each pot, and even split between 3 home and 3 away clashes. As with standard practice, teams have not been able to face sides from the same association at this early stage of the UECL. Upon the conclusion of matchday 6, the 36 teams will have been ranked in a giant league table, possessing between 0 and 18 points in total. From here, the sides ranked 1st to 8th receive automatic byes to the round of 16, which begins in March 2025. The sides ranked between 9th and 24th form the 16-team knockout phase playoffs, drawn into 8 two-legged ties, which take place soon after the conclusion of the league phase in February 2025. Those 8 tie winners join the 8 top-ranked sides to form the round of 16, and it's a straight knockout from there. Predicting the main stage has become a lot trickier now. It's not simply a case of being able to rank all 36 sides by ability level. Some sides have been presented with favourable fixture lists, which boost their chances of finishing high. Others have a tough task on their hands across all 6 matches. I put the hours into this, studying the sides, running through and predicting the results of every single one of the 108 total fixtures. A 36-team table has been spat out at the end, and that's what I'm using as a final reference point. This video serves not only to you as a preview and introduction to the 36 UEFA Conference League sides, some of whom are very familiar faces and some of whom are complete newcomers to this competition, but also as my official prediction for how I think the league phase will look when we're all done in mid-December. Without further ado, let's begin. Working upwards from 36 to 1, this is the 2024-25 UEFA Conference League phase. 36, the New Saints. We're starting out with a history maker. Having eliminated Lithuanian champions FK Panevėžys in the playoff round, the New Saints have become the first team from the Welsh League system to qualify to the main stage of one of UEFA's 3 senior competitions. They're an interesting story. Their full name is the New Saints of Oswestry Town and Llansanfraid Football Club, a reference to the name of the club when originally formed near the border back in 1959, and also to Oswestry Town, who they notably merged with back in 2003. They're a Welsh League side, but they're officially based on the edge of Oswestry in Shropshire, England. TNS dominate their domestic league like few other clubs in Europe ever could. Last year, 92 points from a possible 96 in the Cymru Premier, a 32-0 record, 117 goals scored and just 18 conceded. They dominate the Welsh game, but up till recently have shown to still be a level below general European competition. There are sides on the continent's lower-ranked nations that Craig Harrison's side can comfortably beat, but there are still a large number of teams that are still well out of their reach. That's where the problem comes with this debut league phase. They're going to be underdogs in all 6 fixtures, playing their 3 home games at Shrewsbury Town's new meadow. It starts out as brutal as it comes away at Fiorentina, facing home games against Astana, Djurgården and Panathinaikos, who are all sides with much better quality. Games away at Shamrock Rovers on matchday 3 and away at NK Celje on matchday 6 complete their schedule. On top of that challenge, TNS had to make this historic venture into the main stages without their star striker. Brad Young averaged almost a goal a game in his lone full season in Oswestry and is now over in Saudi Arabia. It puts focus back onto figures like stalwart Polish forward Adrian Cieslewicz, the goal output, supported by Rory Holden, Jordan Williams or Bradford City loanee Adam Wilson. Dynamic right-back Josh Daniels is one to keep an eye on, as could be centre-back Jack Bodenham and midfielder left-back Daniel Redmond. 35, Larne. TNS certainly aren't the only history maker in this UECL lineup, and certainly not the only team who could end up struggling to collect any points. Larne required a second leg turnaround against Gibraltar side Lincoln Red Imps to progress through the playoff round and become the first team from the Northern Irish League system to reach a main stage. Larne's emergence on the scene is a lot more recent than the New Saints. The club from the East Coast were languishing at the bottom of the second tier in 2018 when they were taken over by Kenny Bruce, co-founder of the online estate agent Purple Bricks. Under his heavy investment, Larne have seen transformation to their squad, stadium and infrastructure, promoted into the top flight in 2019 and now sitting as 2-time champions of the NIFL Premiership. Like with TNS, however, their run to this inaugural league phase has required a favourable draw. Latvian champions FK RFS smashed them 7-0 on aggregate back in July, and it took a shootout against Kosovan champions SC Balkany and a second-leg comeback against Lincoln Red Imps to reach this stage. The league phase schedule has not been as kind to them. Malta to start out, Ghent to end. The most intriguing clash is undoubtedly an all-Ireland affair at home to Shamrock Rovers on matchday 2, home games taking place at the National Stadium at Windsor Park in Belfast, as opposed to their much smaller own Inver Park. Might an away fixture with Dinamo Minsk on matchday 5 be their best chance to points though? If Larne are to get anything, attention quickly turns to the front line to find it. Scottish striker Andy Ryan was the hat-trick hero last time out in the UECL, usually joined up front by Matthew Lusty and the versatile Sean Graham. Right back Thomas Cosgrove and centre-back Cian Bolger are going to be key in defence, with midfielder Chris Gallagher potentially one to keep an eye on when available. 34. Natspear nu Theilegid Vikingur. Vikingur Reykjavik, as they're more commonly known, don't get to call themselves the first Icelandic team to reach UEFA main stage. Breidablik beat them to that last season. It's a moment of personal history for the Icelandic champions though, qualifying to this stage for the first time after impressive wins over KF Ignatia of Albania, SC Flora of Estonia and thrashing Andorran champions UE Santa Coloma in the playoff round. Vikingur certainly cover the miles in this league phase, trips to Cyprus, Armenia and Austria, whilst it's Cercle Brugge, Borac Banja Luka and Djurgården who come to Iceland at the Copa Vogsvulla. There's certainly much stronger outfits that they could have potentially faced in this league phase, but they are likely to be underdogs in most, if not all, matches. Might matchday 3 against the Bosnians be seen as the best opportunity to put some points on the board before we're done? In theme with what we saw from Breidablik last season, Vikingur make use of plenty of versatile personnel to form their squad. The standout present is Valdemar Tor Ingi Mudarsson, a 25-year-old who features both up top, out on the flanks and in central midfield across the season. Faroe Islands international Gunnar Vattenhammer is one to watch in the heart of defence. Carl Thor Gunnarsson keen to be dynamic from fullback. Gisli Gottschalk Tordarsen covers several midfield roles, whilst up front it's Ari Sigurd Palsson, Aron Ellis Randarsen and Danish striker Nikolai Hansen, who could be worth keeping an eye on. 33. Mlada Boleslav. There's always plenty of Czech clubs across European competitions, but here's a less familiar one. Mlada Boleslav won last season's Conference League playoffs over in Czechia, qualifying for Europe for the first time since 2019-20. Comfortable wins over Lithuania's Transinvest, Israel's Hapoel Beersheva and Hungary's Paxi have gotten through 3 necessary rounds of qualifying and into the main stage of a UEFA competition for the first time since the 2007-08 UEFA Cup. The quality of opposition does of course go up now though. Lugano, Real Betis and Jagiellonia all come to the small local Trans Arena this league phase. Trips to Portugal and Norway to come too. It's matchday 1 away at SC Noah that may look the best chance of points to Mlada Boleslav, but as we'll get onto, that trip to Armenia looks a potential banana skin. Swedish coach Andreas Brännström is the new head coach of Bolka, brought in from RE Kuor in late August. At his disposal in Czechia, a squad that includes influential forward Thomas Ladra and fellow winger Vasil Kozej. Keep an eye out too for goalkeeper Matas Turmal, centre-back Thomas Kral and a trio of midfielders in Daniel Langhammer, Marek Matejowski and Sparta Praha loaning Patrick Vidra. 32. FK-TSC. Thudbalski Club TSC should be a familiar name to anyone who followed the Europa League last season. There are clubs from the town of Bačka Topola in northern Serbia who played in the group stages last term, finishing with just a single point from a group of themselves, Olympiacos, SC Freiburg and West Ham United. They started out in the Europa League again this season, but drop into form part of the UECL league phase after being smashed 8-1 on aggregate by Maccabi Tel Aviv. Their small TSC arena plays host to Legia Warsaw, Lugano and Noah, whilst they themselves face challenging tests against Astana, St Gallen and Ghent. Like with Mlada Boleslav previously, it's that Noah fixture on matchday 6 that stands out as their current best opportunity for points. It's a squad that, like last year, is still dominated by Serbian personnel. Attacking midfielder Mihailo Banjac, currently loaned in from Russian club Krasnodar, looks the main one to watch out for, though fellow attacking players Peter Stanic and Alexander Sirkovic could have influence as well. Bosnian midfielder Irfat Žakovac and Milan Loni striker Marko Lazatic are ones that I would pick out as well. 31. Petrokub Hinchest. We have a Moldovan side in the main stages of one of UEFA's 3 competitions, and it's not Sheriff Tiraspol. Petrocub had gradually progressed themselves up to be the best of the rest in Moldova, notably beating Sheriff to last year's title and ending a long sequence of consecutive triumphs within the country. Their route to an eventual Conference League spot has come from winning one tie and then losing one tie in first the Champions League and then the Europa League. Victories over Ordubase of Kazakhstan and the New Saints of Wales, but defeats to Apoel of Cyprus and to Ludogorets of Bulgaria. Petrocub won't play in their home city for this league phase. They'll be in the capital Chisinau, playing at the national Stadionul Zimbru that regularly hosts major fixtures involving Moldovan teams. Pathos visit there first, followed by Rapid Wien on matchday 3 and most notably Real Betis on matchday 5. Trips to face Jagiellonia, Başakşehir and Hearts wrap up what looks a tough fixture schedule for the Moldovans. If they are going to do anything of note this year, expect centre-back Victor Mudrak and forward Vladimir Ambros to have had influence, likewise goalkeeper Silviu Smalanea. I'm keen on the number 11, Sergiu Platica, who plays anywhere up the flanks or as an outside centre-back in their 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 variation. Sergiu's older brother Mihai plays in midfield for Petrocub, whilst wideman Dan Pushkas potentially could be one to watch as well. 30, Dinamo Minsk. It's notable for there to be a Belarusian team in this UECL lineup during a time where Belarusian football is far from what it once was. Dinamo Minsk won their first title in 19 years in 2023 to be the nation's best hope of a main stage spot and reached this league phase after dropping down from the Europa League playoff round, beaten narrowly by Anderlecht. It's their first main stage since the groups of the 2015-16 Europa League. Dinamo have a challenge that their other opponents don't, however. Because of Belarus's involvement in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, UEFA have sanctioned their clubs by forcing them to play European home matches behind closed doors at neutral venues. Dinamo were using Hungary for their neutral location during qualifying, but for this league phase, they're going to be much further out east, playing games at the Sumgayit City Stadium in Azerbaijan. No crowd of any sort for matches against Hearts, Copenhagen and Larn, coupled with 3 tough away games in Finland, Poland and Greece. It's that matchday 5 game behind closed doors with Larn that feels like the best chance of a win. That on its own isn't going to be enough for a top 24 spot though. Ones to watch in this Dinamo Minsk side, Sergej Politovic in the heart of defence, Brazilian left-back Rai, deeper midfielder Alexander Salvaya, winger Ivan Bakar and Nigerian striker Stephen Alfred. 29, Omonoia. The first of 3 Cypriot clubs playing in this inaugural UECL league phase. There is no other nation with more teams in this year's Conference League. Omonoia is the Greek alphabet name for this Nicosia outfit. They're more commonly known as Omonia Nicosia or simply Omonia on these shores. The capital club have been a familiar name in Europe's secondary and tertiary competitions in the 2020s, most recently featuring pointless in the 22-23 Europa League against Manchester United, Real Sociedad and Sheriff Tiraspol. They'll be making use of the GCP Stadium again this winter, a ground they still share with arch rivals Apoel. Things start out favourably with a home fixture against Vikingur Reykjavik, a real trip from northwest to southeast to the Icelandic side. A middle thought of Hearts, Ghent, Legia Warsaw and Rapid Wien is less forgiving before closing with another potential opportunity away in Bosnia. Take advantage of the start and end in particular, and they could sneak into the knockouts. Number of long-standing names who feature in this Omonoia side, Brazilian goalkeeper Fabiano and Hungarian defender Adam Lang being among them. Keep an eye out in turn for Brazilian midfielder Evandro Costa, Cape Verde forward Willy Semedo and Polish striker Maris Stepinski. 28, Olympia Ljubljana. A second consecutive UECL main stage for the club from Slovenia's capital. They came third in a quartet of themselves, Koyi, Lille and Slovan Bratislava last season. 6 points picked up in 23-24. They might not get as many from 6 matches this time. The middle 2 of Hujiku away and Larn at home look their nicest matches in the schedule. Tough away trips to start and end though, against first Heidenheim and then finally Jagiellonia, whilst it's also Lask and Cercle Brugge who visit the Stadions Dosis. Olympia still have their Portuguese duo of left-back David Sualehi and right-back Jorge Silva, with goalkeeper Matas Vidosek, versatile Lithuanian Justas Lasikas, right-sided defender Marcel Ratnik, Argentine midfielder Augustin Dotho, Austrian winger Raul Florux, and Brazilian forward Pedro Lucas Feitzer among those to keep an eye on. 27, Helsinkin Jalkapallo Klubi. Hujiku, the household name of Finnish football, playing in the main stages of a UEFA competition for the fourth season in a row. They've had to work to reach this league phase though, close to an upset elimination against both Montenegro's FK Decic and the Faroe Islands Koyi in the last two rounds of UECL qualifying. The record Vaikaush Liga champions have also never been beyond the main stages of a European competition, and that's a run that could continue in 24-25. They do have some opportunistic home fixtures. Dinamo Minsk and Olympia Ljubljana visit their Bolt Arena before a Nordic clash with Molde on matchday 5. They could really do with taking advantage of those games, as away matches against Lugano, Panathinaikos and finally Real Betis are all tough tests. Finland's title holders will no doubt turn to midfielder Lucas Lingman and Scottish striker Lee Irwin for influence. Others to watch out for in this team include left-back Noah Palaz, Greek midfield man Georgios Kanelopoulos, winger Santeri Hostika and Azerbaijan attacker Ozan Kukcu. There's Burkina Faso forward Hassan Abande and Crystal Palace loanee Luke Plange as well. 26. Borac Banja Luka. I can repeat the Vikingur Reykjavik intro with this one. Bosnian champions Borac have made their own personal history by reaching the main stages of a UEFA competition for the third time, but are missed out on being Bosnia's first qualifier by the space of a year. It was Zrinjski Mostar this time last season. The club from the Banja Luka City Stadium dropping from the Europa League, facing a fixture schedule that includes meetings with both Nicosia outfits, as well as an intriguing matchday 3 clash away in Iceland. Panathinaikos at home is a testing start, with Lask also visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina this winter. Borac could end up with a points total that runs them close in the race for a knockout round playoff spot. If they are to make it, expect influence from Dutch defender Bart Myers and 20-year-old forward David Vukovic. North Macedonian Damjan Stichkovski is in goal, whilst Montenegrin fullback Marko Vukcevic, Austrian attacking midfielder Stefan Savic, Croatian midfielder Dino Skorup and Serbian winger Nikolas Rekovic could also be ones to watch, especially now that main striker Jovo Lukic has moved to Romania. 25. FC Noah. I must admit, when the predicted table was spat out and Noah were left just a point and a place outside the knockout spots, I was disappointed. There might not be a side whose campaign I'm invested in more than the team from Western Armenia. Noah are a young club, formed back in 2017 as SC Artsakh, a reference to a historical region of the ancient kingdom of Armenia. Since 2019, they've gone under the name SC Noah, a reference to the biblical Noah's Ark, which came to rest on Mount Ararat. The compound volcano officially lies within Turkey's borders nowadays, but is still considered a national symbol of Armenia and a sacred mountain to the Armenian people. SC Noah have been one of the best stories of qualifying this season. They are the first team ever to successfully navigate all 4 rounds of UECL qualifying in order to reach the main stage. The most notable victory came in the third qualifying round, eliminating Greek powerhouses AEK Athens after a 3-1 first leg win in which their goalkeeper Onyan Kancerevic scored from a goal kick. Victories over AEK and indeed Slovakian outfit Ruzomberok in the playoff round showed that Noah are capable of being more than just a minnow in this league phase. They won't be in Armavir for their home fixtures, instead playing in the capital Yerevan at the Vajan Sargsyan Republican Stadium. Mlada Boleslav, Vikingur and Apoel all come out to the Caucasus region, all of them beatable opponents to the hosts. There's away games of Rapid Wien and finally FKTSC in turn, alongside the most eye-catching game of the lot on matchday 3. Did you ever think you would see a club like this facing 2-time European champions Chelsea at Stamford Bridge? Noah's pursuit of more history is likely to see impact from Portuguese striker Gonçalo Gregorio, right-sided defender Gonçalo Silva and Slovakian midfielder Martin Gambos. Kancerevic will remain key in goal, whilst I'd also keep an eye out for Icelandic left-back Gudmundur Thorarinsson, midfielder Gore Manvaljan and another Portuguese face in winger Helder Ferreira. 24. SC Astana. They're Kazakhstan's dominant force, but not the reigning champions from the 2023 season. That led to Astana having to start out in the UECL second qualifying round as Premier League runners-up, progressing through 3 rounds, and most notably completing a late second-leg comeback against Norwegian side SK Brann to progress into the league phase from the playoff round. We have seen a definite growth in the presence and power of both Astana and the Kazakhstan national team in recent years. There's a couple of reasons I think for this. One is the undoubted improvement in the quality of play that's produced. The other is utilising a travel factor that other UEFA nations just will never have. Kazakhstan is a lot further east than most people realise. It's practically Central Asia. It's a mammoth trip up there even for Eastern European outfits to make, and it's even bigger this league phase. Astana's own Astana Arena is undergoing renovation work, meaning that the team will continue to play European home games at the Almaty Central Stadium, some 1,200 kilometres further southeast from the capital and near the border with Kyrgyzstan. Making the monster trip east this league phase, FKTSC, who being in Serbia have the nicest distance of the trio, as well as an eye-catching visit of Chelsea on matchday 5. My absolute favourite though has to be matchday 4. Vitória de Guimarães go from Portugal out to eastern Kazakhstan through a round trip of more than 13,000 kilometres. Of course, in turn, SC Astana have their own big trips. First to the UK to face the New Saints, and then twice to Cyprus for games against Paphos and Apoel. They say that travelling east is worse than travelling west, and this just might provide some more evidence for it. Wants to watch in this SC Astana side, left wing-back Jan Veragovski, Belarusian midfielder Max Ebong, Albanian midfielder Nazmi Gripshi, Croatian winger Marin Tomasov, and Nigerian striker Chinedu Jethri. 23. NK Celje. Having reached the playoff round of the UECL last season, reigning Slovenian champion Celje overcame Armenia's Pjunik this time around to reach the inaugural league phase and give us 2 Slovenian entrants in this 36-team lineup. The clubs from the nation's 4th biggest city have a mixture of favourable and challenging fixtures both at and away from their own Stadion Zidizele, with their final 2 away at Paphos and at home to the New Saints looking like the nicest opportunities for points. Capitalising on those and taking something from an opening 4 with Vitoria, Başakşehir, Real Betis and Jagiellonia will be key to top 24 chances. Keep an eye out for Empoli lonely goalkeeper Lovro Stublia, versatile defender David Zek, Croatian midfielder Luka Bobicanek, Jamaican forward Rolando Arons and Lithuanian striker Armandas Kuzis. 22. Istanbul Başakşehir. The big 3 of Istanbul are up in the Europa League, but Turkey's capital still gets a representative in the Conference League, returning to a competition they made the round of 16 of just 2 years ago. Başakşehir have had a very favourable draw to progress through 3 rounds of qualifying, and the challenge has gone up now that they enter the league phase. A home fixture with Petrokub Hinchest on matchday 4 looks the most favourable, potentially NK Celje away on matchday 2 as well. Games away at Kopenhagen on matchday 3 and at home to Heidenheim on matchday 5 are big tests though, with Rapid Wien at home to start the league phase and Cercle Brugge away to close it. It's common with Super League sides to find at least one familiar name within their squad. For Istanbul Başakşehir, it's Polish striker Krzysztof Piątek. Winger Denis Turuk and Brazilian defender Leo Duarte are other standouts, and I'm personally keen on Cameroon midfielder right-back Olivier Kemen and Greek midfield man Dimitrios Pelkas. 21. Shamrock Rovers. On ability compared to the competition, I'm not sure I would have the Republic of Ireland champions this high in the league table. The reason they're up in the knockout round playoff spots is because of the opportunity that has been put in front of them by the schedule. There isn't a fixture schedule that I love more than Shamrock Rovers one. Local fixtures against 3 sides from the UK, 2 of them very winnable in the matchday 2 clash against Larne in Belfast and the matchday 3 game at home to the New Saints. Chelsea away on matchday 6 is a very tough end to the league phase, but before then are fixtures at home to Apoel and Boruc Banja Luka that present Rovers with a real chance of getting enough points for knockout qualification. Plenty of eyes needed on Tallaght Stadium as they return to the main stage of the UECL. Long-serving manager Stephen Bradley has a team that includes star Cape Verde centre-back Roberto Lopez and attacking midfielder Jack Byrne, with others to look out for including German goalkeeper Leon Maurice Pouls, right-sided defender Sean Hoare, right-sided midfielder Leo Tharugia, attacking midfielder Danny Mondroyu, as well as strikers Graham Burke and Mark McNulty. 20. Heart of Midlothian. Much like Shamrock Rovers, Hearts make a return to the main stages of the UECL after 2 years. Back then, only able to get 3rd in their 4-team group. This time, a better chance of achieving more than just that. Plenty of knockout places available and a schedule that includes opportunistic fixtures against Omonoy and Petrokub at Tynecastle Park, as well as a winnable opener in Azerbaijan against Dinamo Minsk. Heidenheim at home on matchday 3 and Kopenhagen away on matchday 5 look the biggest test for the Jam Tarts. International striker Lawrence Shankland is the big standout in this Hearts team. A back 3 of Kai Rolls, Stephen Kingsley and Frankie Kent in front of veteran goalkeeper Craig Gordon. Keep an eye out for left wing-back James Penrith and the Costa Rican pair of Gerald Taylor and Kenneth Vargas. 19. Vitória de Guimarães. Vitória have been a Conference League representative to Portugal for each of the last 3 seasons, 24-25 being the year they finally get through qualifying and reach the league phase. Super impressive in qualifying too, with 3 thoughtless tie wins against Floriana, SC Zurich and Zrinjski Mostar. Standout fixture comes right at the end, a meeting with Fiorentina at the Estadio Afonso de Enriquez. Before that, competitive clashes with all of Celje, Djurgården, Mlada Boleslav, Astana and St Gallen. It's that matchday 4 that's my personal favourite, an enormous trip from northern Portugal to southeast Kazakhstan, a more than 13,000 kilometre round trip. A number to like with the Guimarães outfit, midfielder Tomasz Handel is a particular standout. Goalkeeper Bruno Varela, Croatian centre-back Toni Berevkovic, Angolan fullback Bruno Gaspar, midfielder Thiago Silva, Brazilian winger Caio Cesar and experienced striker Nelson Oliveira are also players to watch out for. 18. Pathos SC. A new face on the European scene and one that I've quickly got keen on. Pathos are from the southwest coast of Cyprus, a club only formed back in June 2014 following a merger between the strongest clubs within the city, inheriting a crest that includes the face of Cypriot revolutionary Evagros Palakarides. Their first 3 years were spent bouncing between the Cypriot first and second tiers, reaching new heights in the present day under Russian ownership and investment. This is a club that has developed one of the most modern and well-equipped facilities in the country, improving into a top-end first division side and earning a first venture into Europe after winning last season's Cypriot Cup. Under Spanish coach Juan Carlos Caicedo, and with a backroom that includes a mixture of foreign and domestic names, Pathos dropped from the Europa League into the UBCL back in July, eliminating Zalgiris, CSK in 1948, and most notably CFR Cluj to reach the inaugural league phase. UEFA requirements mean that the own Stelios Kyriakidis Stadium won't be used for their 3 home games, instead playing around 50 kilometres east at the modern Limassol Stadium. Heidenheim, Astana and Celje are the visitors to the Mediterranean island, with Pathos themselves facing a potentially nice opener away in Moldova before trips to first Florence and then Lugano. Quality has already been demonstrated by them in qualifying, suggesting the possibility of a league phase dark horse that records a good final position after a largely competitive fixture schedule. Ones to watch out for with the Cypriot outfit, Croatian goalkeeper Ivica Ivusic, the defensive pair of Spaniard David Goldar and Dutchman Derek Lucassen, Croatian midfielder Ivan Sunic, Romanian midfielder Vlad Dragomir, Brazilian winger Jaja, Swedish forward Mohamed Tankovic and Brazilian striker Jairo. 17. Apoel. Straight up at the Pathos, the third and final Cypriot side in this UBCL league phase. Apoel are the familiar name when it comes to football from the country, dropping into the Conference League, having previously played in just Champions League and Europa League qualifying rounds this summer. It's their first main stage since the 2019-20 Europa League, where they eventually exited to SC Basel in the round of 16. The Cypriot champions remain at the GCP Stadium, shared with big rivals Omanoia, and it means that the Nicosia ground will be in use for all 6 match days of this league phase. Borat, Banja Luka, Fiorentina and Astana visit there for Apoel games, with trips to Shamrock Rovers, Molde and Noah also on the calendar. Aside from Fiorentina and possibly Molde, there are a number of winnable fixtures here for Apoel to take advantage of and book a top 24 spot at the minimum. Jose Dominguez is a new man in the dugout, promoted from his previous assistant role. The Portuguese boss has got Moroccan striker Youssef El Arabi now on the books, a man who won this competition with Olympiacos just last season. Keep an eye out too for Slovenian goalkeeper Vid Belek, Georgian centre-back Lasha Devali, Spanish left-back Xavi Quintilla, Bulgarian midfielder Georgi Kostadinov and Brazilian winger Marquinhos. 16. SC St Gallen. Espen are returning to the main stages of a UEFA competition for the first time since the 2013-14 Europa League, booking their spot in this inaugural league phase after a dramatic penalty shootout with Turkish club Trabzonspor. 24-25 is in turn their first European season for 4 years, earned after finishing 5th in last season's Super League. Switzerland's oldest active football club, dating back to April 1879, St Gallen have a nicely balanced 6-game fixture schedule that includes a winnable middle 2 away at Larne and at home to FKTSC, a pair of competitive fixtures away at Cercle Brugge and at home to Vitória de Guimarães, and a pair of big tests when facing Fiorentina at Caban Park and finishing the league phase away in Heidenheim. Austrian defender Albert Valci will be key to St Gallen's chances of progression, as will Ghanaian goalkeeper Lawrence Aitzigi, Spanish midfielder Jordi Quintilla and Congolese forward Shadrach Akolo. Keep an eye out for German midfielder Lucas Gertler and French striker Willem Goebbels too. 15. Lask. Lince Athletic Sport Club have been a common presence in Europe's secondary and tertiary competitions since the start of the 2020s, still peaking with that run to the UEL round of 16 in 2020, but also since making it out of their lone previous Conference League main stage appearance in 2021. They drop into the UECL this season after losing out to Romanian champions FCSB in the Europa League playoff round, coming down into a competition where they should form part of a competitive middle batch. Fiorentina away on matchday 5 looks the only real big test of their 6-game schedule. Games against Olimpia Ljubljana, Borac Banja Luka and Vikingur Reykjavik all feel winnable, whilst clashes with Djurgården and Cercle Brugge at their still new Raiffeisen Arena could really go either way on the day. As with previous years, it's a pair of attacking players who stand out at LASK, attacking midfielder Robert Zulc and Croatian striker Marin Lubicic. It's these two who will likely make the difference to LASK over the next couple of months, with others of note including goalkeeper Tobias Laval, German defender Philip Zereis, veteran Jerome Boateng, American left-back George Bello and Nigerian winger Moses Usor. 14. Cercle Brugge. For the first time since 2010, both the blue and green sides of the Jan Bredel Stadion are playing European football. The familiar name of Club Brugge are up in the Champions League, but it's Cercle the more interesting story. The 125-year-old club were in Belgium's second tier as recently as 2018, since benefiting greatly from the investment of Russian owner Dmitry Rybolovlev. Fourth place last season earned a Europa League spot, dropping into the UECL for the playoff round and knocking out Wisla Krakow to earn a first ever main stage appearance. Being a level below in the Conference League gives less games, more favourable opposition and a chance for Cercle to finish the league phase well inside the knockout round playoff places. None of their 6 matches look exceptionally difficult, although all 3 of the home games against St Gallen, Hearts and Başakşehir are far from walkovers. Vikingur away on matchday 2 might be seen as the most winnable fixture. Togolese striker Kevin Denke is likely to be huge to their chance of progression, with other key figures including Brazilian goalkeeper Wallason, right-sided defender Christian Rivic, Portuguese left-back Flavio Nazinho and the wide pair of 21-year-old Kazim Ola Igbe and 25-year-old Thibaut Sommers. 13. SK Rapid Wien. After elimination in the UECL playoff round for the last 2 seasons, it may have been something of a relief for Austria's record champions to find themselves in the Europa League playoff round, knowing that a Conference League spot awaited them even if they lost their tie with SSC Braga. A narrow aggregate defeat, drawn down into the UECL and handed a fixture schedule that gives them a good chance of making up the knockout round playoff lineup. A tougher start and end to the schedule, beginning away at Istanbul Başakşehir and finishing with SC Copenhagen at their own Allianz Stadion. A middle 4 of Noah at home, Petra Club away, Shamrock Rovers at home and Omonoya away look very winnable though. Robert Klaus still gets to call upon the services of influential forward Guido Bergstaller, often deployed either up top or in a number 10 role. Goalkeeper Nicolas Hedel and big new French defender Serge-Philippe Royal are similarly handy at the back. Keep an eye out too for dynamic Hungarian Bendeguj Bolla at right back, attacking forward Matthias Seidel and Augsburg Loni striker Dion Drenja-Beljo. 12. Jagiellonia Białystok. One of 2 Polish clubs in this inaugural UECL league phase, and one continuing a high that was first earned last season. Jagiellonia won the Ekstraklasa for the first time in 23-24, earning a Champions League debut where they won their first tie, fell into the Europa League in time for the playoff round, and now understandably come down into the Conference League after being comfortably seen off by Dutch giants Ajax. Jager had more than enough about them to secure at least a knockout round playoff spot, potentially as a seeded side in the positions between 9th and 16th. Their exact position in this table, much like the batch of teams recently mentioned, and still a couple more to come, could well come down to nothing more than goal difference. An intriguing test away in Copenhagen to start the 6-game schedule, with Petra Club, Molde and Olimpia Ljubljana all visiting the Stadion Miejski vo Białymstoku. Celje and Mlada Boleslav are a pair of winnable away fixtures on match days 4 and 5 respectively. Keep an eye out in the Jagiellonia side for Spanish attacking midfielder Jesus Imaz, midfielder Taras Romanchuk, Spanish defender Adrian Dieguez, Portuguese midfielder Nene and Angolan striker Athemiko Palulu. North Macedonian winger Darko Churlinov is recently on loan from Burnley as well. 11. SC Lugano. The new European competition format presents a really good chance to Lugano from the southern Italian-speaking region of Switzerland to achieve what they haven't done before and reach the knockout stages of a UEFA competition. Their own Cornaredo Stadium doesn't meet UEFA requirements at this stage, so they'll be playing their 3 home matches around 130 kilometres northwest at SC Thun's Stockhorn Arena. It's Hujiku, Ghent and Pathos who make the trip over to the alternative venue as well. Still led by manager Matteo Crocchi Torti, it's international forward Renato Stethan who remains the supposed star in his SC Lugano team. Goalkeeper Amir Saipi and midfielder Uran Buzlimi are handy assets as well. Italian right-back Matteo Zanotti and Kosovan striker Shkelkin Vadi may also be worth keeping an eye on. 10. Molde. A lot to potentially like with the Norwegian outfit, who dropped in the Europa League group stage into the Conference League last season before a round of 16 exit. This year, it's an early Europa League exit in the playoff round, entering a league phase where they have a good chance of taking at least a seeded knockout round playoff spot. Home games against Larn, Apoel and Mlade Boleslav at the Aker Stadion all look favourable. Back-to-back trips to Ghent and Jagiellonian Bialystok and maybe more testing before a clash with fellow Nordic side Hujiku away on matchday 5. Molde's 3-5-2 shape contains a number of familiar individuals. No front pair I like more than that of Magnus Wolf Eikram and Christian Eriksen. Emil Breivik is an important midfielder too, often alongside Marcus Andre Kassa and Mats Muller-Dali. Wingbacks Matthias Stutus Lövik and Martin Linnes can also be a fun watch. 9. Djurgårdens IF. A club formed 133 years ago on an island in central Stockholm, nowadays sharing the Tele2 Arena with rivals Hammarby. Memories of 22-23 should be in the mind with the Iron Stobes when they topped a Conference League group of Ghent, Molde and Shamrock Rovers unbeaten, exiting in the round of 16 to Lech Poznan. All 3 of those opponents are in this UECL league phase, but the Swedish club won't play any of them in 2024. Instead handed a fixture schedule with its nicest games on match days 4 and 5, away against the New Saints and then over in Iceland against Vikingur. Home games with Panathinaikos and Legia Warsaw could be the ones that make the difference between a top 8 and top half finish. Djurgården have been led by a joint manager pair of Thomas Lagerlöf and Jim Bergstrand since 2018. Flexible with their on-the-pitch shape, centre-back Marcus Danielsson, Finnish right-back Adam Stuhl, midfielder Bersad Sabovic, Finnish midfielder Rasmus Schüler, Norwegian attacking midfielders Tokmak Chol Nguyen and Tobias Gullikson, and Turkish striker Deniz Humut are amongst the ones to watch out for in this playing squad. 8. Panathinaikos. Into the top 8 of the Conference League table, the automatic round of 16 spots. The list of top 8 candidates to the Champions League and the Europa League feel a lot clearer than the list of the Conference League. There are a few you would naturally expect to take up one of these positions, but a good number that should still be left undecided until right up to the end of matchday 6. Panathinaikos will aspire to take one of those bye spots. A very familiar name in Europe, playing in the UECL main stage for the first time after upsetting French side Lens in the playoff round. The Athens outfit have had multiple spells at several grounds over the years, the most recent change of scenery coming just this year, leaving the historically Athoras Alexandros Stadium to begin spell number 6 at the giant Olympic Stadium. Chelsea are the first team to make the journey to the capital on matchday 2, with Panathinaikos getting much more favourable home games afterwards against Hujiku on matchday 4 and Dinamo Minsk on matchday 6. Away games at Borat Banja Luka and the New Saints are also very winnable, with matchday 3 away at Djurgården potentially the one that clinches them a top 8 place ahead of other competitors. My favourite part of this Panathinaikos team is the front line. One of Thotos Ioannidis, Slovenian Andres Spora or Swede Alexander Jeremezhev leading the line, supported by any of Brazilian Tete, Argentine Daniel Mancini, Uruguayan Facundo Pellistri or Slovenian Benjamin Verbic. Midfielder Tassos Bakasetas is a superb striker of the ball, protected behind by Slovenian Adam Nezdacherin and Brazilian Willian Arau. At the back, meanwhile, it could well be Polish stopper Bartlomiej Dragovski, sat behind a backline that includes versatile Croatian Tin Jedvaj, Serbian left-back Filip Mladenovic, Icelandic centre-back Sverre Inge Ingersson, and English-born Greece international George Baldock. 7. Ghent. The creation of the Conference League is proving good for Belgian clubs, providing them with a good chance of progressing to the latter stages and greatly aiding the nation's coefficient in the process. Ghent have been the finest example of that, playing in every edition so far and always making the knockout rounds. Round of 16 exit in 21-22, quarter-finals in 22-23, and the knockout round playoffs last time out. 3 qualifying tie victories over Faroese club Vikingur, Danish side Silkeborg, and Serbian team FK Partizan have secured season 4 in the UECL. Ghent's toughest test comes right at the start, facing a match with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. After that, though, it's a quintet of winnable games. Home fixtures against Molde, Omonoya and FKTSC at their newly named Planet Group Arena, with away matches against SC Lugano in Thun and against Larne in Belfast. Ghent have had a number of exciting talents feature in their side over recent years, and there's still plenty who remain. No more of the versatile Korean Hyun Sok Hong, sadly, but still quality individuals like Japanese defender Tsuyoshi Watanabe, English left wing-back Archie Brown, Senegalese right wing-back Noah Thadiga, Israeli midfielder Omri Gandelman, and new central midfieldman Matthias Delorge. Up top, keep an eye out for 2 new strikers. 22-year-old Andre Gudjonsson, son of Iceland legend Ida Gudjonsson, as well as 20-year-old Max Dean, who moves into European football after an electric recent impact at League 2 Milton Keynes Dons, a real live wire of a centre-forward. 6. Erste SC Heidenheim. One of the best active stories anywhere in European football. Heidenheim are from a town of around 50,000 people in Baden-Württemberg, becoming an independent football club in 2007 when the football section of Heidenheimer Sportbund split away from the sports club. Under long-serving head coach Frank Schmidt, a Heidenheim native, the German outfit have ascended from the lower leagues to reach the Bundesliga for the first time in 2023. Finishing a superb 8th last season, booked them Germany's Conference League spot, and a playoff round win over Swedish club BK Häcken has continued their European debut into the league phase. It's undoubtedly going to be an exciting time for fans of the ever-growing Voith Arena. Olympia Ljubljana and SC St. Gallen are guests at the start and end of the schedule respectively, the undoubted standout being the visit of Chelsea on matchday 4. There's winnable trips to face Pathos, Hearts Midlothian and Istanbul Başakşehir in turn. Heidenheim's progression chances will be boosted massively by form from goalkeeper Kevin Muller and centre-back Patrick Meinke. Bayern Munich loanee Paul Vanna has plenty of ability from attacking midfield, with American midfielder Leonard Maloney and Brazilian winger Leo Scienza also worth keeping an eye on. 5. Legia Warsaw. Legia finished 2 places and 4 points behind Jagiellonia Bialystok in last season's Ekstraklasa, but are a far more seasoned campaigner when it comes to European competition. For a second year in a row, it's a start in the second qualifying round of the Conference League, this year seeing off Carnarvon Town, Brøndby and Drita to reach the inaugural league phase. They only made the knockout round playoffs last season. Now, with home games against Real Betis, Dinamo Minsk and SC Lugano, and away games against FKTSC, Omonoya and Djurgården, there's a chance they could end up skipping that round altogether. Plenty of key men to watch out for at the Polish Army Stadium this winter. Defender midfielder Rafał Augustyniak, right wing-back Paweł Jolek, Sporting loanee left wing-back Ruben Vinagre, Brazilian midfielder Luquinhas, Spanish forward Marc Gual, and Czech striker Thomas Peckart being among them. 4. SC Copenhagen. Recent memories playing a part in this call. We've only just recently seen Denmark's record champions record an excellent round of 16 finish in the Champions League. Finishing 3rd in the Superliga last year and subsequently winning the European playoffs mean that they've started in the Conference League this time. A side that's recently showcased their ability against more elite European outfits could surely be among the frontrunners in the tertiary competition. Copenhagen's most intriguing test is undoubtedly matchday 2 against Real Betis, but aside from that come a set of winnable fixtures at home to Jagiellonia, Başakşehir and Hearts, with favourable trips over to neutral Azerbaijan to face Dinamo Minsk and down to Austria to face Rapid Wien. A new goalkeeper for the Danish Giants in Englishman Nathan Trott, behind a backline that still includes versatile Dutchman Kevin Dykes and Norwegian left-back Birger Meling, with Shakhtar loanee Georgi Gochalishvili and Feyenoord loanee Marcus Lopez newly added. Lucas Leria and Rasmus Falk remain in midfield, added to by returning international veteran Thomas Delaney. Norwegian forward Mohamed Elianusi is still a live wire, as are Swedish forward Jordan Larsson, Tunisian winger Elias Achuri or young prospect Rooney Bargji. Swede Victor Claesson could well lead the line. 3. Real Betis. I've got a real desire to see Real Betis have a deep run in Europe this season. Los Verde Blancos have been a familiar face in particularly the Europa League over the last few seasons, but their track record in Europe isn't anything worth shouting about when compared to other top Spanish sides. It's 1998 when Real Betis last appeared in the quarterfinals of a UEFA competition. The common theme nowadays is progressing from the groups and then exiting the knockout rounds early on. When you consider that across the city of Seville are arch-rival Sevilla, the kings of the Europa League, it makes that record that little bit harder to take. Sevilla have had their own struggles right now. No European football at all to them in 24-25. It leaves Real Betis as the sole continental representative for the cities from Andalusia and playing in a competition where they should be treating themselves as one of the frontrunners. There's a fun opening pair of games away at Legia Warsaw and at home to SC Copenhagen before a very favourable final four against Celje, Mlada Boleslav, Petrocup and Huji. It's Manuel Pellegrini's fifth season in the dugout to the Estadio Benito Villamarín, but he will have to start it without influential creative midfielder Isco, likely out of action till the new year at least. Pleasing then to see Giovanni Lo Celso come in late window and make a strong early impact, supported centrally by the likes of William Carvalho and Marc Roca. Hector Bellerin and Diego Llorente joined Brazilian Napoli loanee Nathan and French left-back Roman Perro in front of Rui Silva at the back, with eyes on a front line that includes Moroccan winger Abde El Zalzouli, Pablo Fornals, Aitor Ruibal or Barcelona loanee Victor Roque, among others. 2. Fiorentina. The Conference League has become Fiorentina's competition, sort of. Viola are back in it once again and attempting to make a third consecutive final. You have to start wondering if there is something of a European curse on Fiorentina. They are the only club to have reached the final of the European Cup, UEFA Cup, Conference League and the Cup Winners' Cup, and whilst they have won the latter back in 1961, they have lost all four of their other European finals. They're without a win in any competition final, in fact, since 2021. Do Fiorentina have the quality for another deep UCL run? They certainly need to be better than they were in qualifying to get there. Hungary's Puskás Academia gave them a mighty scare in the playoff round. Their league phase begins with a very favourable home opener against the new Saints, with Pathos and Lask also coming to the Stadio Artemio Franchi. Matches away at St Gallen, Apoel and finally Vitória de Guimarães are all fixtures that the Florence outfit can get through fine if they are up to good standards. You can't help but wonder if Fiorentina are somewhat declining in overall quality with each passing season in this competition. Not only are they now without individuals like Giacomo Bonaventura, Gaetano Castrovilli, Nikola Milenkovic and Nicolas Gonzalez, they've also now changed their head coach. Rafael Palladino has moved across to Monza to succeed the new Bologna boss Vincenzo Italiano. The 40-year-old has a number of familiar faces to call upon still. Left-sided defenders Cristiano Biraghi and Luca Ranieri, Argentine centre-back Lucas Martinez Quarta, Brazilian right-back Dodo, Rolando Mandragora in midfield, Argentine Lucas Beltran in attack, as well as forwards Ricardo Sotil, Jonathan Ikone and Christian Kouame. Icelandic striker Albert Gudmundsson must shake off a summer injury before he can make his debut in purple. There's going to be plenty of eyes too on David De Gea. The 33-year-old is finally back in football after a full year without a club. Other new faces include Moise Kean, Croatian defender Mario Pongracic, Union Berlin loanee wingback Robin Gosens, and a quartet of loanee midfielders in Roma's Eduardo Bove, Monza's Andrea Colpani, Milan's Yacine Adli and Lazio's Danilo Cataldi. 1. Chelsea. It just should be. Chelsea have financial power that dwarfs the entire Conference League competition. They're two-time European champions, playing at a level that is probably considered by many to be below them, even after a bizarre season where they somehow earned a sixth-place Premier League finish and only ended up in the UECL rather than the UEL after Manchester United won the FA Cup. All the same, Chelsea have got the chance to do something now that no club has ever done before. Complete the new European quadruple of the Champions League, Cup Winners' Cup, Europa League and Conference League. The immediate focus for now can only be on securing a high position in the league table, very achievable when you look at their fixture schedule. Ghent, Noah and Shamrock Rovers all come to Stamford Bridge as big underdogs, whilst the Blues face trips out to the Athens Olympic Stadium to face Panathinaikos, over to Baden-Württemberg to face a potential banana skin in Heidenheim, and a mammoth trip out to southeast Kazakhstan to face SC Astana. 18 out of 18 points is definitely possible, but it's still hard to trust this team at current. Does anyone really believe that Todd Boehly's methods of squad overloading and signing contract loopholes is truly going to come good down the line? Can a new boss in Enzo Maresca, managing at championship level just last season for a Leicester City side who he didn't win full plaudits for despite winning the title, survive an entire season at a club who seemingly still think they should be right up there with the elite? Even the playoff round against Swiss side Servette SC suggested that Chelsea don't make things as easy for themselves as they probably should. There's more than enough quality here to get out of the league phase and progress far, but I'd be wary that the first strong outfit they play down the line could be potentially where they come unstuck. Squad-wise, there's been no bigger topic of discussion this last month than the decision to leave out Cole Palmer. Maresca says it's the workload reasons, similar to why Wesley Fofana and Romeo Lavia don't feature either. It's understandable, but it's still seen as a gamble for Chelsea to compete in this league phase without the man who basically carried them last season. All eyes on Christopher Nkunku, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Noni Madueke, Jadon Sancho, Pedro Neto, Michaela Mudryk, João Felix, Nicholas Jackson and Mark Guiu to make sure that the lack of Palmer isn't felt. Hundreds of millions of pounds in midfield meanwhile, with both Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in the UEFA squad, whilst at the back, the choice of Axel Disasi, Marco Correa, Benoit Badiashile, Tosin, Levi Colwill, Malo Gusto and Reece James. Scandinavian goalkeeper Philip Jurgensen played in Chelsea's 2 playoff round legs. They topped my prediction, but no guarantee yet that they lift the trophy when we're all said and done. The inaugural league phase of the UEFA Conference League begins with Matchday 1 across Wednesday the 2nd of October and Thursday the 3rd of October. Matchday 2 takes place on Thursday the 24th of October. Matchday 3 is on the 7th of November. Matchday 4 is on the 28th of November. Matchday 5 is on the 12th of December. And Matchday 6 just a week later. All 36 sides plan to play simultaneously on Thursday the 19th of December 2024. It promises a final day full of drama and permutations. Thank you so much for watching this bumper preview and predictions video. I've given my thoughts and I'd love to hear yours. Be sure to leave your own predictions in the comments below and subscribe to the Matchday Man for more European competition content across the 2024-25 season. I'll see you then.